guys. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out today.
Thanks for having us.
How's the weekend going so far for everybody?
Not bad, not
Can't
bad.
complain.
It's a great city.
Amazing. That's
A little cold at night, but I'm like a weenie, so.
It's a little cold on the floor.
Yeah.
I've had to bundle up for so much of the morning, because otherwise I'd just shiver my way right out the room.
That's actually his normal voice.
Yeah, I was
He's
gonna
putting
say-
on.
Yeah, I
that's
put
him,
on this
that's him.
one.
Can we
Like,
talk that way for the rest of the
I
panel?
wake
The whole
up
panel?
just
Wanna
like
do that?
this, yeah.
So, really quickly, just for the people who don't know, if you don't mind, just introduce yourselves and let us know the voices that we've been knowing you for.
Sweet. What's going on, y'all? My name is Nadji Jeter. I am Miles Morales. Woo!
Come on, you got to give it up for that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi, I'm Kaiji Tang. Since there's a video game panel, you may know me from games like Yakuza Like a Dragon and Ichiban. I'm in basically every fighting game. I'm Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat, etc., etc. Nice
Sir.
to be here. Nice to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm David Errigo Jr. The picture up here is a character called Gustav from a game called Shin Megami Tensei 5.
He's horrible.
Yeah.
On my shirt here, we got
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which is a lot of fun to voice.
and got Call of Duty Mobile, handful of other things, and this is my favorite. I got to be a part of those Spider-Man loop groups
Yeah.
for Nadji's game.
Heck
So,
yeah.
Give it up, give it up, give it up, my guys.
Man, you're the ultimate hype man. Thank you, Nadji.
I know,
Hell yeah.
man. I feel it. I feel the energy in here.
For sure, man.
I gotta feel the energy, you know?
Absolutely. So you guys are voice actors in video games. You have a chance to be a part of being in the game. I would just love to know how much video games play a role in your everyday lives growing up. Did you guys grow up in video games? What are some of your favorite games? We'll start right here with Nadji.
Okay, one of my favorite games, Def Jam Fight for New York. I was definitely around her age playing these games. And yeah, I mean, I'm a only child raised by a single mom, so yeah, video games and toys were my life. Like, I mean, get home from school, you know, my mom, you know, she wanted to keep me in, so I just had nothing but toys and just games to play for days. So, you know, I was definitely into the story building games and also just the open world games as a kid, you know, just having that imagination and that creativity just to running through my head. So, you know, just having that and just now, you know, full circle, I'm meeting you guys and meeting the kids, you know, at certain ages that I was having those moments, and just the world just comes back in full circle, you know. So it's just crazy to see how everything turned out.
All right, that's what's up.
And Mortal Kombat, yes, and bro, like it's so many games, GTA, everything. Like I'm meeting so many people that I've grew up with and learned so much about, you know, throughout the years. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
KG.
Yeah, big gamer. Working my way through my third or fourth playthrough of Baldur's Gate right now. Yeah, so when I was a little kid, I had a Pizza Hut right in my corner, right? And there was a Street Fighter 2 machine, right? I was that kid who knew how to do the special moves before the internet. You know what I mean? Like, there was always one. There was always one in the arcade, and they're like,
yes.
how you do that? You're cheating. You're like, no, just don't suck, right?
I just know which buttons to use.
So yeah, I've been gaming my whole life. I'm big on fighting games. Me and my wife compete at EVO every other year. We're gonna go this year for Mortal Kombat. She won't let me play anyone other than Sub-Zero, which, you know, is a little gatekeepy. I love me some Reptile. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Otherwise, probably favorite type of video game other than fighting games, probably RPGs. I play a lot of RPGs, right? A lot of JRPGs. Tales of is probably my favorite brand of RPG. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, definitely a big video game kid. A lot of like Ken Griffey baseball with my dad was a big hit. NCAA football on the Nintendo, and then of course we got into like the fun games. Super Mario World on Super was just amazing. And like got into Final Fantasy VII when that came out, and that was just such a steep cliff to fall into the games. And like I love the RPGs, and I especially love an RPG that you can like grind and get so ahead of the main campaign that there's
You're one of
no
those.
challenge. Yeah, I'm definitely like, I'm like, I'll do all the side quests so that you can't hurt me. Big fan of that kind of thing. And like when I got to LA, I was not too terribly busy because, you know, you transplant and nobody really knows you. And a buddy of mine sent me Final Fantasy 15. And I wound up playing that like it was my job. Like literally putting in 40+ hour weeks on this Final Fantasy 15 game. And then they did expansions like Comrades, and it was my job. And that was one of like the coolest sort of, you talk about full circle moments. You're like, oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool that you guys get to do what you love and you get to be a part of a world where you can just immerse yourself in the character and kind of be someone who you're not. For instance, I mean, we can't swing from buildings in real life, but you get to do it in the video game.
We could try, but it would
We
not
could
be
try.
like-
We could
yeah, it
try to
wouldn't be
jump,
like-
but I would not.
You guys can't?
suggest it.
I can't.
Oh.
I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. Yeah, it's miraculous.
It's yeah. I try to stay away from rooftops.
Yeah. Well, I would
to.
love to know how you guys get started in voice acting, and what was your first video game that you voiced? We can start here with David.
I think the first video game I voiced was a game called Archangel, and it was a VR project. I had just gotten to LA. I had sent all my stuff to Bang Zoom, and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this," and they were like, "Okay, you can do this." And I played. Basically, it was a big mech shooter on rails, so I was the player's constant companion. Just an AI who spoke very simply, "Captain, you need to look to your left," and that kind of stuff. But as far as like getting into voiceover on the whole, I was in New York trying to do the musical theater thing, getting close, doing the regional theater thing, leaving, coming back, doing all of that. And then my manager at the time got me a meeting with an on-camera commercial agent at Paradigm, and I was like, well, this is awesome. Went, chatted with the guy for like 45 minutes. When I finished, he just goes, all right, come with me. Walks me across the office, sits me down in front of another guy, and he goes, you two, talk. And that was a voice agent.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool origin story. I
That
love
was
it.
like the most low-effort introductions. Like,
You too.
talk.
Yeah, it was so weirdly casual.
Sit
And
down.
Matt was like a big personality, too. The guy that he sat me in front of was like, oh my God, hi! Which was very different from Doug.
All right, KG.
I think my very first project, I just looked it up. It was Blaze Blue. So Blaze Blue was a fighting game back in the day. It was a smaller roster than it is now. Right now it's like Blaze Blue, Cross, Tag, whatever, which I'm a Akatsuki in. That was really, really cool because, you know, like I said, I've grown up with fighting games. They're like my favorite genre of video game. So I wasn't a playable character at that point. I was just like background stuff. But even then, I was like, okay, if nothing else happens in my life, right, I'm in a fighting game, and that is so cool. Like I will be able to ride off this high for the rest of my life, you know, like, and then, you know, I was fortunate enough to go on to voice in more games, and at this point, like, you know, I love doing the anime stuff because I am a big anime fan, but like, whenever I get to do a video game, it's really special. It really talks to like the little kid inside you, you know?
The gamer
It does.
inside.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It's not till you step on that mocap stage, or you know, in that booth, and you see the what the animators have done, you know, and what they've created in the studio to match your tone of voice. You're like, wow, this. It just wakes up, like I said, like the little inner kid in you, you know. So my first voiceover and my first video game project was The Last of Us. That was the very first one, and it was an experience. I was like 12, turning 13 maybe, and I knew it wasn't normal. Something about this audition was just, we walked into a room like this, 90 cameras, and I was like 12, 13, and they had like one camera. I was like, this is different. I was like, this room is huge. I was like, what? This is what we're auditioning? I was like, all right, cool. So, you know, and they told me run from here to there, and this box is on fire. That box is a car up there coming off a roof. I was like, what? So they're like, just do it. And I was like, all right, cool. So I ran my little course. Yeah, I ran my little course and said my lines, and that was, I had fun. You know, shout out to Neil Druckmann. I love you, man, for life. Naughty Dog, you know, they showed me so much love as a kid. I know Neil was like, the first time we were on set, and they're like, you ready to be a zombie? I was like, yeah, for sure. He's like, give me your best zombie impression. And I was like, all right. He's like, yeah, no, that's not what we're doing. He's like, no, that's not the zombie that's gonna be in the game. No. So, you know, I got to, like I said, be a big kid. I got to be a kid again, and also just, yeah, it just brings out a certain element of just pure joy because you know what you're making and you know what you're doing. You know, first when I take that back. First, you don't know you're making that game. You know, you don't. You have a lot of NDAs, a lot of coding, a lot of secretive things going on. So you don't know you're making that special project until it's done. But I know that process it's incredible. You know, you got to put on the mocap suit. You got to have the dots on your face, all that stuff. You get to run around. So it's fun making it, but you don't know what you're getting into that final product is brought out.
You guys have really great chemistry together. I was curious, is this the first time you've all met?
These my boys. No, we grew up
Or have you
together.
known each other
We were friends as children. Oh no, we knew each other for a little bit, and then we just met today, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
It's
These
true.
my guys.
But it helps when you really admire people's work. Like you can easily just kind of like, oh my god, you guys are awesome, and
That's how
just
we
like
talk all the
be
time. No.
all the time. But like just to be on the stage with people that you respect, it makes it that much easier to really just have a lighthearted, I think, interaction.
Yeah, you guys all have really great chemistry, but not only that, you guys are really talented voice actors. I wanted to ask one more question before we turn it over to the crowd, and we do have a dedicated mic for you if you want to start lining up now, because this is a great opportunity for you to ask questions about voice acting if you're curious about getting into the business. But I wanted to ask, and I know the answer as an actor is always, I just love to have an opportunity to work and to have work, but if there was some dream project or dream game that perhaps you could all work on together, what would that be?
KG got it.
We should all be main party members in an RPG. That'd be awesome.
You got it though. I would love to join
Let's
Mortal.
do that. Yeah. Or we should all fight each other in a fighting game.
Meet me outside. Meet me outside at 3 o'clock. No, that I would love to join KG, and I think we could all be in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there's
goodness.
always DLC, my friend. MK1,
My
MK2.
goodness.
It's not going to stop anytime soon. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you never know. They could put your characters in the game. They're always downloading new characters. You
They
never
can
know.
fuse.
I
They
don't
do
know
a
if I want to
fusion.
see Miles in Mortal Kombat, to be honest, though. Like, no, I'm sure he would do great. I'm sure he would do great. I just don't want to see those fatalities.
Rip destruction.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Rips
great
out a
point. Let's
hole.
talk about what your fatality would be. We'll start with David.
What a fatality would be.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think it'd be some sort of like ear cut thing. If it was Oswald in there, he'd be like, "Here we go," and like just block. There's no more noggin. No more noggin.
That's it. Head gone.
Actually, weird story. Mortal Kombat actually stole my idea for a fate. They didn't steal it, but I had this idea like years ago.
You
I
heard
was
it here
like,
first.
and it turned into a seasonal fatality that they just came out with. All right. So I was years ago. I was at Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and I was like, and I was playing an older version of Mortal Kombat. And I was like, yeah, how funny would it be if they had this thing when if you like overfeed them with like turkey and stuff like that, and they explode. And literally, they just came out with a seasonal fatality where they sit you at the table and they push a whole ton of food in your mouth and you explode. And I was sitting there going like, who was listening? Who was in the house?
Prayers are answered. That is
Alexa,
crazy.
she hears everything.
That is crazy.
Nadji?
Oh man, I would probably I'd probably web out your larynx.
Ooh.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
crazy. It's crazy. I came up with that idea just now. I know. Mortal Kombat, it's crazy, man. I would love that though.
Yeah, I would love to see
That
all your
fusion
characters,
would be
that'd
great.
You know what fighting game Miles should totally be in is a new Marvel vs. Capcom game. That would be incredible,
Need to do another
right?
Marvel
Yes,
Capcom.
yes. I did an
Same.
Ultimate Alliance
Yeah.
like a couple of years ago when I
Sweet.
first started doing Miles. But yeah, I would love to get in there again, man. That would be insane.
That's the funny thing. Like with your original question, like
Yeah.
what game would I want to do? I would love to be like a named character in the Spider-Man games going forward. And I used to be like, I want to be Peter Parker. I don't anymore. Like, Yuri can do it forever, and I will not be even a little bit mad. The only way I would ever consider even auditioning for Peter Parker is if Yuri was like, nah, I don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's take that out of the equation. If you could be any Spider-Man villain, who would you like to voice?
You got a bunch to choose from. They're
Gosh,
good.
I mean, there are so many.
So many good ones.
And so many are taken already. So I would have to think on that for a second.
All right.
No, just imagine they all go on vacation.
I mean,
they all
kinda-
retire.
I think Chameleon could be fun, but that would be probably a low responsibility job because other people would probably be doing the majority of your character's lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that'd be a fun character to play.
Cool. All right, well, I appreciate you guys taking my questions, of course, but we're going to turn it over to the fans. And then I kindly
Let's
ask
do
you to
it.
keep it to one question per person. And at some point, if we do run out of time, I'm going to play the bad guy. I'm going to have to cut it off. But you guys are going to be here for the rest of the day? You're gonna
Yes.
come visit you at your
Yes, sir.
table and say hi?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Okay, so stepping up to the mic. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name's Connor, and this goes out to everybody. What's a character type that you haven't gotten to voice yet, but really want to?
Magical girl. No, magical girls are awesome. I'm sorry, like they're
No,
awesome.
hey, get
They
it.
shoot lasers, they like blow up monsters. I love magical girls. Magical girls.
Oh gosh, I think a legitimate villain. I haven't had a really great chance to sink my teeth into a villain. With Gustav, he looks really weird, but he's not a villain. He's just a shopkeeper. So I would love to sink my teeth into some sort of like just uber narcissist or just crazy, destructive villain.
I'm gonna have to back him up on that one because we've touched heroes, we've touched everything else, but I haven't done a villain. Yeah, so I'll probably try to, I mean Blade is not a villain, but Punisher's not a villain either. But just
Those are what we call anti-heroes, Nadji.
Right. Thank you, thank you, sir. But yeah, in that realm, of Marvel darkness, yeah, I would love to be like a villain or like a Blade type of ordeal. But thank you, Connor. Yeah, that was a great question.
You guys are awesome. Thanks.
Thank you,
man.
You're awesome, Connor.
All right. Hi. What's your name and what's your question?
What's up, y'all? I'm Bryce.
Hey, Bryce.
What's up, y'all? So, in every Spider-Man game we've seen, Miles gets a little bit better at hip-hop, beat making, and we saw the whole Jazz Museum.
Yeah.
When's he gonna drop the album? And who are the features?
Ooh. So we're getting the features this year. We're getting our features this year. Album, I want to say, oh man, summer release maybe, summer fall release. We had some delays this past season, but
Who's the collab though? That's what he mean. Like who's collaborating?
oh man, you gotta find out, man. You gotta find out.
I'm sorry, man. I tried to get it out of him. I tried. It must be highly NDA'd.
I was gonna say, let's spit a hot 16 right now.
Come on, man.
Craven the Hunter just comes out and just starts like,
Just weapons it up.
No, you're not going to rap. No,
Hello,
To fight.
not here.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Thank you
What was
for
your name again? Bryce. Thank you, Bryce.
All right. Hi. Step on up. What's your name and what's your question?
Hello, my name is Destiny, and my question is, what's your advice for anyone looking to go into voice acting for video games, or I guess otherwise too?
Who wants to start?
KG.
sure. So I have a good friend of mine named Kira Buckland. She, if any of you watch anime, she's the love Hashira on Demon Slayer. She's also 2B in Nier Automata. She runs a Discord group called the Voice Acting Club, right? And in this Discord, she has cultivated an amazing community of people dedicated to helping people just starting in voiceover get their footing, right? So you're gonna find everything there. You're gonna find articles about what kind of tech you should use, what kind of mics you should use, how to find representation, how to make a demo, but most importantly, she posts indie auditions for you to start padding out your resume. And I've got some friends in LA working right now who came from that Discord group, so I absolutely recommend it. Voice Acting Club, Discord.
I'm a huge fan of D. Bradley Baker's website, iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. One of my favorite things he's ever, I was in a clinic with him and he goes, I've got this website, it's called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com, and if you can't remember that, no you don't. So I really like that website. It's a phenomenal free resource. And then Talkin' Tunes with Rob Paulson was my cartoon university. That's a podcast that's not available on Apple anymore, but it is on Spotify. And then there's one called VO Buzz Weekly, and one of the cool things about that, it's sort of a YouTube channel that has tons of guests. And more than just actors, on that one they have a lot of voice directors, they have casting directors, they have agents from the voiceover world, and they give you a lot of great information. And then the last one that I really sort of push to people is Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt, both from Spider-Man, have a book called Voice Over Voice Actor. That was one of my most used early tools, so much so to the point that I'm a testimonial in the second edition of the book. I really believe in the book.
Did you write all these down?
I'm keeping a mental note.
Okay.
If you go to, honestly, if you go to my Twitter, which is my last name and then the word voice, it's my pinned tweet. Those resources are my pinned tweet. Yeah. I believe in them.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hi. Step on up. What's your name and what's your question?
How we doing? I'm Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
Love the shirt.
Appreciate it. Whenever you're starting out as a voice actor, do you think it's better to stay closer to your regular range, or do you want to like bounce around like you do?
I think whatever you do, you want it to have a core of authenticity.
You know, if you've got a voice that you've been doing for so many years, right, and this is something that you do with your friends and you do it with anybody that you meet on the street just to try and make them laugh or anything like that, there's a core to the authentic part of that you can bring to the table, and it doesn't have to be your normal voice. Now, you don't want to necessarily shoehorn that into like a big, strong hero,
But like, if you have something that you know backwards, forwards, and sideways, trot it out when you want. There is really, so you know how to use your voice because you use it every day. So it's an interesting question that I'm sort of working out, I'm sorry, while I'm talking to you guys. I do think it is wise to sort of default to your natural instrument as your understanding, because acting is so much more important than the voice. I mean, there were folks, I'm sorry to be so long-winded, but there was this guy, Lorenzo Music, who basically just sounded like this, and he was Garfield for a long time. And I heard a story that he had a demo, and it was a commercial demo, and all it was, hello, hey, hi, oh, hi, hello. And it literally was just his voice. And he made an excellent living in voiceover because he knew exactly what his brand was and brought it to the table.
Yeah, I kind of agree in that when you're first starting out, right, it is tempting to like start going wild, crazy, wacky Western animation, kind of like the SpongeBob stuff, right? It's fun. It's fun. But from my experience, and I can only speak for myself, you will be booked 98.9% based off of your actual just normal sounding voice. And he's right in that it really isn't, I mean, you know, if you're just new to voiceover, you might think like, oh yeah, I need to change my voice. But it's the intention, right? It's the emotion, it's the storytelling. And you will be able to do things with your own voice that you might underestimate for yourself, right? Once you learn the acting chops, you can really channel that voice into something beautiful, into something very human. And whatever you read, if you can make someone feel something, you've done your job as an actor. It doesn't matter what voice you use, right? You can be voicing a tiny little weird, like, Western animation cartoon in your complete, normal, regular voice. And if you've got the acting chops and if you make people feel, it's gonna be amazing, right? So don't concentrate too much on changing the voice. Just be an actor.
An actor. Actor. Man, they put me in a trance with those two answers, man. I'm over here listening like, yeah, damn, you're right. You are right. Man, I mean, I take from both of these guys, to be honest. I envy both of them, man. Like, it's at a point where it is great. I would love to have the range that certain people have where you can just tap in, because I've come from a show where you're in a room full of voice actors and everyone just having different voices just pop up, and it's crazy. It's fun. It's insane. You're around so many people that have so many different voices in their head that just popping up, and it kind of sat me down like, wow, I need to get some more voices. But like you said, you gotta have fun.
I think you're doing okay.
Yeah, you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. I think that's the main part. And then what KG was saying, yeah, because I always say, take from your personal experiences too. You know, as far as with just putting that emotion into that voice, no matter what it is, your regular voice or whether it's from range. Take from your personal experience and put it into that scene, and then you're gonna get the magic that you get. You know, from whether it's family, whether it's school, whether it's friends, all that, anything, put that personal experience into that script.
One of the things that sort of stands out for me often is never try to give them what they want, or excuse me, what you think they want. Give them what you want to give them. Like, don't be contrarian. Don't look at the specs, which are the details of what they want from the character at the top of the page, and be like, no, I'm gonna do it as a princess from Romania, when it's like an all-American hero. And even then, I'm a little reluctant to say that because that might be really funny, depending.
I would actually. Sounds nice. Sorry.
But a lot of times, like, so I did the show called Ridley Jones, and I played a character called Dudley the Dodo. And it's basically an Edwin, but without the lisp. And I got that audition, and the reason that I auditioned that way, I actually did do just a proper Ed Win when I did the initial audition. But then when I had the call back, they were like, oh, can you take away the lisp? And I was like, yeah, sure. But the reason I did that was I had taken a road trip with my dad. And it was a 16-hour road trip from Ohio to Florida. And through a lot of the time, we were just reading dad jokes to each other to try and crack each other up. And I was using Ed Win and being like, oh, come on, keep up, stupid. You don't understand the joke? And the sides came into my inbox, and there was no reason I would want, like, from the pages, from the page, there was no reason that I should do it that way. But it was what was in my core to, like, yes, I have to. This is what I have to present. That's how I want to do it. If I get it, great. If I don't, I did it how I wanted to do it. I wound up booking the role, but one of the coolest things was after the callback, when they did cast me, my agent told me that they said, we wrote this for someone else. Like, we literally wrote this role with someone else we know in mind. He came in and took it by doing it how he wanted to do it. And I got 60 episodes and an Emmy nomination out of that. So, like, do it how you want to do it from the authentic core of yourself and bring your best acting. And that's so much more important than any just voice.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you for the question.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, my name is Marika. And my question, I went to the voice actor panel this morning.
Oh, with Vince? God, he's the worst.
Yeah, and Anne and Gary and Michelle. And
They're great.
Their biggest, like the biggest takeaway that they were telling us was to kind of get into improv. And I was wondering if you guys thought that that would be just as useful for like video games.
Yeah. Definitely. Improv is that having fun that we were talking about. Everything, my man right here, all these guys, they have that power of just getting up and then in the booth just running it. You know, like you don't need a piece of paper. I know Gary Anthony Williams is great at this. He's here at this show too. He's a guy that you go to his table, he can just do a whole like, it's just crazy. It's just talent, you know. So yeah, improv is definitely it's that having fun element because you never know what they might keep and what they'll love. You know what I mean? Like you never know. So it's definitely good to have that element in you as well too.
Yeah, he's right. When I first started doing video games, I was nervous to change anything, right? Because I thought the script was the Bible. I thought
sacrosanct.
Yeah. I thought this was what's written. This is what I need to stay, right? At this point, it's really, I've come to understand it's a collaborative process between you, the director, the client, everyone, right? Just because something is written a certain way does not mean it has to be that way. If you have fun with a line, and if you add a word here or two, if you even change the end of the line a little bit, and it gets a laugh out of everyone, there is a possible high chance that stays in the product, you know what I mean? There was, for example, there was an RPG I did called Fairy Fencer. And there is a character by the name of Fang. And Matt Mercer played opposite me with a character whose name is, I still can't pronounce it, Apollonius. All right, his name is Apollonius, but at the time, I didn't know how to pronounce that name, right? I did not preview the line. I just started, like, cold red started it, right? So when I got to his name, my brain fried, and I was like, blah, 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 Appletini? Right? And then immediately afterwards, like, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce this name? And they're like,
That's how.
Yeah. They're like, Fang now calls him Appletini, right? So I got to call him a couple of different versions of Apollonius, like Appletini, like as a joke throughout the game. So it's like little moments like that. If it makes the room laugh, it possibly makes it in. So improv, very good.
Improv also makes you flexible and directable. Right? Because if you do everything by repetition, like I know a lot of theater training is you gotta figure out your show and you do your show the same way every night. I'm not saying that that's good theater training, but I'm saying that it's out there. It's that much more important to just be listening. And I think a great improver just listens on another level. And they're not just listening to the words, they're listening to the needs of the scene. They're figuring out, oh, okay, I need to give that a moment to breathe because then if I can just wait, I'm gonna hear that moment where then I can drop in the punchline and it's gonna kill. Not to mention, I mean, I imagine it's different for you with Spider-Man. You guys do full scene work, right? You guys are working together. You aren't doing pages and pages of cues in a vacuum. where so many video games, we don't get the script beforehand. We just show up, they give it to us, you have to be able to cold read it, make some choices, make 2 different choices, A, B, for a whole set of lines, and then they'll move on, having told you, okay, we did A, B, B, A, B, A, B, 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 A. And that's their selects, and we're moving on. So having that sort of malleability in your brain is super useful for if they have to adjust you, because then you don't have to waste time going, okay, hold on, let me think about that direction for a minute. Let me just test it out a couple times. Okay, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. You would never get hired again. Now, I do think with scene work, sometimes it can be that 5 minutes of like, oh my God, you just changed everything I know about the character, and we're running these scenes. Let me wrap my mind around that. That's a little different than the kinds of cues I'm talking about. But the improv part of it is awesome. I think every actor should study improv. Like 6 actors should perform improv, but every actor should study improv.
Yes.
I agree. I think it's a great thing to know, and also you're right. Like acting is reacting, so you got to take the time to listen. And improv will teach you one thing: it's yes and. You want to agree and then add something to it. So, all right. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
like I said before, at some time I will have to cut this line off. We have about 10 minutes left, so let's try to get as many questions as we can.
That actually translates to shut up, David. Be more concise.
Hi, I'm Cor, and I was wondering if you had any like hard lessons or things you wish people told you before getting into voice acting video games.
Yeah, okay, so yes. So,
Be prepared.
Yes. So in a lot of video games, right, there is a lot of yelling. There is a lot of yelling in video games. Your Call of Duties, any fighting game, any action game.
Yeah.
Okay, so much yelling.
Bro.
And when you are a new actor, you want to overplease. You want to be there the whole 4 hours. You want to impress. You want to be like, I'm going to show them what I can do, right? That is wrong.
It's wrong. Take it easy.
You should not do that. No.
Take it easy.
It's so bad. It's so bad for you. So if you start doing voiceover and you are doing, let's say you book Call of Duty, right? And you see 4 hours, right? You need to slash that in half. You need to call your agent. You'd be like, I'm going into Call of Duty. I'm going to be going, grenade, blah, blah, blah. For 2 hours, that's already going to screw you up. I did a game called The Sky of Five. All right, this was early on in my career. I was a character named Red Magnus. And in voiceover, we sometimes use a scale of loudness from 1 to 4. 1 is like stage whisper. 2 is you and I talking regularly. 3 is, hey, kind of you're across the room. And 4, you're on fire, falling off of cliffs and stuff. Red Magnus existed at all times at a 3.5, okay? And that was a 70-hour recording, a journey, right? It was the only job where I got home and I spit up blood.
Ooh, wait.
I learned. I learned very quickly. So yeah, you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Definitely take care of yourself. Wow, man, you got me stuck now. Oh man, that right there is for sure, because like you said, you want to bring it all to the table. You want to be, the best you can in front of everybody, but you got to know that this is, a job, and that you are going home, and that you do have another couple days to get back to work. So, definitely, step by step. Everything is a stepping stone. With scripts, like you said, you take from your personal life, but you want to do enough to where it pleases the audience and the directors and casting directors and, your writers as well. Talk to your writers, whoever's the writer. Like, what do you envision? What have you seen from this scene? What have you seen play out from the scene? And then put your own element into that as well, too. But, yeah, definitely want to take it easy, because you do have sessions where Miles was getting all from the exerter and yelling, and you feel it. You feel it. Like, you will feel it afterwards, for sure.
I wish somebody would have explained to me a philosophy that I've come to, which is I actually don't think actors face a lot of rejection. I think we face a lot of quiet that we internalize as rejection. Like, more often than not, we don't have somebody calling and going, KG, no. We don't like you, and we don't want you to work again. Like, nobody does that. And if all you internalize with every audition is that it's rejection, that's going to wreak havoc on your mental health. And so I like to just imagine, okay, it's just quiet. And I've had a lot of different people that I've met over the years. Like I was doing a clinic with Wes Gleason. Have you worked with Wes? Just a delightful human. When I show up to this clinic, and I've never worked with him, but he goes, David, oh my God, it is so nice to work with you in this clinic. You have gotten down to selects on my projects for like 5, 10 projects. You would have been Jimmy Olsen in the Superman project if the producer didn't know James Arnold Taylor really well. And I'm like, there's a lesson here. Because if I would have internalized that audition as a failure or a rejection, why? That's a win. I booked the room. So I think getting your mind around the idea that, yeah, we face a lot of quiet, but you don't have to internalize that as rejection.
All right, thank you so much. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
My name's Seth. My question is, what's the dream video game studio that you'd love to be able to work with one day?
I recently got to work with Capcom, so that was nice.
Capcom would be fire. Capcom, Rockstar, Activision. Rockstar.
I think Insomniac carries themselves really responsibly in the industry. Yes. I've heard that they're just really, really, really wonderful people, and the folks that I've met, like Patrick Mahalik and a couple of the other folks from there, are just really upstanding folks and kind of holding the line on some of the bad things that can be coming down the line.
I want to be in a good BioWare game. I want to be in a good Mass Effect. That's the gamer in me.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes,
All right, we
sir.
got
Thank
about
you,
5
man.
minutes, but I think we can get through all these questions. Please, no new additions to the line. And hi, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Theo, and I want to know if you have any tips for getting into voice acting as a kid.
I think all the tips we get probably still apply, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, like I said, they want to see you have fun and bring your kid element. So just hopefully you have that sense of an adult consciousness. And it's weird. There's kids with adult consciousness. I feel like it's weird. You know, some kids really tap into what you just gotta listen and take direction well. You know, and just have fun because a lot of guys just want to see that they understand the element of being a kid. So you gotta have that kid element, but also listen, pay attention, follow directions, and just have fun.
Okay.
Watch a lot of stuff. Watch a lot of cartoons.
Yes,
Learn
a
what's out
lot
there.
of cartoons.
Literally. Yeah. Take it in.
Try to repeat the cartoons if you want.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, I'm Dexter.
Dexter.
Hey, what's up? In a world where you would like to be, I guess my real question is, what do you feel the difference is between doing animation and video games?
Video games happen a lot faster, I feel. Like animation, there's depending on what animation you're doing.
Especially if
right?
it's a JRPG, right?
Yeah. JRPG sessions. So in animation, depending on which animation. So if it's Western animation, I feel like, there's a lot more hanging out in a room with other actors, and it's the day goes a little long. But with video games, in my experience, it's in and out. You go in, you're not there with anyone else, unless you're on a mocap stage for that stuff. But if you're recording by yourself, it's bam, 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 all right, get out, next person, bam, bam, bam. It's a lot more orderly. Whereas the animation I've done, there's a lot more, I don't know, it always feels like there's more schmoozing in animation, right? There's oh yeah, you gotta talk to this person, oh, this person, yeah.
I would say oftentimes, and there are definitely games that break this rule, but a lot of times video game now is a lot more cinematic. So it's a lot more understated than certainly Western animation. And of course, there's exceptions to both of those rules.
I actually hate the cinematic read. I have so many. I have hot opinions about the cinematic read. We won't get into here.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for your
Thank
question.
you, Dex.
All right, hi, step on up. What's your name and your question?
Hey.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I was wondering, I guess with all the games y'all played as a kid or teenager or even now, on the retro side or indie, which game would you really love to voice in or even participate as a character design or help with the plot, if that makes sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. Let's see. Oh, games we played.
I think they already did a remake of Chrono Trigger, didn't they? That had actual
Did they?
voices.
Is
Or
it?
no, did they not? Chrono Trigger is my answer.
I would love to have a crazy plot. Don't ask me what it would be, but for Call of Duty, don't ask me what it would be because I don't know. I don't know yet. But that would be crazy.
They actually did come out with a new updated version of Final Fantasy Tactics with voiceover. Yeah, but any sort of FF Tactics, it's my favorite Final Fantasy game. So if they ever do anything more with FF Tactics, I would like to be in it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sophia.
And then we got our last 2 questions. Let's go as quickly as we can. Hi.
Hi, my name's Princess. So my question is, what type of genre of video game that y'all haven't explored before that you would want to end up voice acting for, or like a self-insert that you would want to do?
Like a really stupid dating sim. You guys remember Hotiful Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Like not necessarily birds, but maybe like a salmon. You know, like just something dumb.
I'd like to have a really good feature in an RPG. Yeah.
I would like to be a villain.
All right, cool.
I don't know.
All right, thank you. And now we have here our final question. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hello, my name is Victor. I'm representing Berserk for
Woo,
you.
let's go.
Yeah.
My question is, if you had the opportunity to create your own game based on anything that you imagine, what would you create?
That's a loaded question. Oh, man.
I will say, honestly, mine might be something really, really dumb because like last month they had a power washer simulator for free on PS Plus, and I have found that so meditative. Like
you
so
and a lot of my friends actually
dumbly
really,
meditative.
Yeah. I have friends who say I should play that all the time because of that very reason. It's like calming or something.
Did y'all play Stray?
I heard it was great.
Yeah,
I heard it was
Stray.
good.
Stray.
I heard it was awesome.
Yeah, they need to do like a dog version now. Ooh, be crazy.
Everybody's just copying that goat simulator.
Yeah,
That's
thank you,
right.
Right?
I would
Thank you
definitely
so
make
much.
some sort of fighting game. Favorite genre? I don't know. This probably already exists. Like, you know, a bunch of like sentient food. Call it food fight. Call it a day. You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go. You heard
Thank
it
you
here
so much.
first.
That'll be awesome.
Thank
Hope
you
you
so
have a great
much.
day.
Cheers.
All right, well, thank you for your questions, and thank everyone for your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys
Thank
so
you,
much.
y'all.
One more time, let's get a big round of applause. David Errigo Jr., Kaiji Tang, and Nadji Jeter.
Hey. Thank you guys.